There's a certain type of jungle that is known as FGC Twitter, and someone has been running wild. Possibly the king of the jungle right now is none other than Hurricane, because my man has been wilding out talking about Karin, and some people are now, of course, bringing up Balrog as well because of the fact that Karin officially has 4 different representatives in Capcom Cup, myself being one of them. And how many representatives does Balrog have, Brian?
As of, this week,
Yeah.
also 4. Also 4.
Oh, man.
Also 4. Yeah, we're nearing the final stretch for the CPT season, so we're kind of seeing the shape of the brackets and the shape of the characters that make up this bracket. And yeah, it looks like Karin and Rog are neck and neck for being the most represented character in Capcom Cup. And you brought up Hurricane. He's fighting for dear life to make sure the Karin players don't know.
Cammy to the end, to the bitter end.
He's doing anything he can to make sure people rate Karin above Cammy, no matter what, even if he has to throw Balrog under the bus as well. But yeah, it's interesting to see how the characters are kind of lining up. And I even was giving you crap saying, oh, there's 4 Karins in Capcom Cup, but then unfortunately I had to qualify. Oh no, what was me? So now there's 4 now there's 4 Balrogs in Capcom Cup as well. But it's interesting to see how the season is shaping up, because Cammy was the character we were most concerned about when the season started, because pretty much right off the bat we had Mago, Ngama, and then soon after NL. 3 Cammys early on. So there was a reason why we're like, ooh, is this the season of Cammy? But I think that's it. Since then, there hasn't been any other Cammys qualifying for Capcom.
But what doesn't make sense to me with the whole Hurricane argument right now, of course we have to get it out there that people can say that I'm biased or whatever. Obviously, I am a Karin man, right? But genuinely, I just want to put out there, I don't care. If Karin was the #1 best character in Street Fighter V history, I wouldn't give a damn. I'm about to... Yo, shut up, bro. I'm about to go play and put in my work. Like, I'm not trying to use no trash character just so y'all can pat me on the back when I get kicked out of the bracket. That makes sense to me. So I'm going to pick a top tier character. But his argument of Karin versus Cammy and then going with the whole how many people in Capcom... Like, bro, and how many tournaments won... Like, for me making it in the Capcom Cup, right? Who is the premier Cammy player in the Midwest bracket? There isn't one. These conversations don't really matter all too much, in my opinion. And to me, you're splitting hairs. Who's better, Karin, Cammy, Balrog? I don't have Balrog up that high personally, but I know Japan does. But Guile, Urien, all of them are mad strong, and I think Street Fighter V is hella balanced right now. But I don't think that anyone is being like carried or anything like that up to this point in Street Fighter V. I think the game is too balanced for carry.
It's too balanced. I mean, honestly, like I don't know why people even talk like that. I feel like you're exposing yourself when you talk like that at this point. You sound kind of silly to me at this point. The game is what it is. It's definitely the most balanced Street Fighter, I think, ever. This Capcom Cup qualification process, it's not about the best in the world necessarily. This is about the regional representation. So you're going to get mixed results regardless, right? And that's another argument that people use. Like, you can't really do that because, like, look at where these people are qualifying from. Is there a lot of strength in that region? Like, if you qualify in Japan, that means something to me.
That's wow. Yeah, that's
mean like you are looking at like a much more accurate representation of this tool, this character being able to carry you versus almost every character. Because
hold up, who won Japan won? What character?
We had Japan 1 was Mago with
what character?
Cammy.
Oh.
And who won Japan 2? I think it was Higuchi with Guile.
Yeah, Higuchi Guile.
And then Japan 3
has Guile really high. Yeah.
And Japan 3 was Daigo with Guile. So missing from that
says a lot more.
Missing from all 3 of those is Balrog, because he's fair and honest. So anyways,
how many Urians do we have?
Let's take a look. See here,
because I think it's 0.
Any? Ooh.
I think there's 0 Urians. So surely he's trash.
Ding Chun Q.
DCQ. So he got 1.
DCQ from China is qualified with Urien. So we do have 1, which I think is underrepresented from what we would expect based on
exactly. If there's 1 Urien, we all look at Urien as like a super top tier character, unless people are going to change their mind now just for the sake of argument. But everyone knows like Urien is like ridiculous. Like most people consider top 2.
What about Rashid? That's another good example. I'm just glancing over the results here. We don't have.
Are there no Rashids?
I don't think there's a single Rashid unless you count Angry Bird, who I don't
No,
know if he used
no,
any in the
Angry Bird
CPT
didn't
run,
use
right?
Rashid.
He didn't
No.
use any. Okay, so he didn't use any Rashid. So yeah, I don't think there's a single Rashid who's
Yeah.
qualified, and Rashid is definitely in that conversation consistently. I think he's a little bit lower these days than like the Karin and the Cammy, but
Yeah, I agree.
100% up at that
But
level.
he's ridiculous though. But I do not think there is too much to read into hearing there being 4 qualifiers.
And I'd also like to point out there are 4 Karens and 4 Balrogs currently in Capcom Cup, but there's still a lot of different character representation within this bracket as well. And even like some of these Karen and Balrog players, they play other characters as well depending on the matchup. You know, I think I'm more one of the solo mains, and you're mostly a Karen main, but you have other
Yeah.
characters in case they're needed. And same thing with like Oswald, he's a Balrog player who also plays Laura and Poison. And
Yeah.
other than that, there's a lot of variety in this bracket. There's Cammy, Guile, Sakura, Colleen, Kuma, Urian, Dalsim, and then Mena,
Nash.
whoever Mena's gonna play. We got a Nash in there. We have Sakura. We have Falk. You know,
Yeah,
like
Falk,
it's definitely
yeah.
shaping up to be one of the most varied Capcom Cups in my opinion. You know,
Easily.
like
Yeah.
people look at these numbers and I think they might be forgetting how the meta might have shaken up in previous years as well. So I think there's going to be a lot of variety, and also come showtime, I think people might be pulling out some surprise picks. You never know. The bracket started to finalize. People are starting to eye what matchups are going to be coming out, and I would not be surprised if some of these people who you have staked down as being a solo main for this character come out with something new to surprise people. Because at the end of the day, a dub's a dub, and the character's just a tool. It's just a means to an end. So I'm looking forward to see how this shakes up in the end. Maybe we'll have 4 Karens in top 8 and 4 Balrogs. That's what I'm hoping for a little bit. Because that means I made it to top 8. But we'll
Yeah,
have to see
it's
how it all
true.
shakes up in the end.